and we are going to get started. So one of the requests that I had last week was to look at passwords. I don't know how many of you have ever had to remember a password for your Facebook, your email, for your internet service provider, for your shopping program, for your, I don't know, there are so many things that we sign up for, and we have to try and remember all these passwords. So here's what most of us do, 9 times out of 10. We go and use the same password and username for everything. That is a hacker's delight, because if they crack one of your programs, whether it's your Facebook account, whether it's your Gmail, if they get in, they can hack into everything else because they have your password and your username. So here are a couple of tips that I have learned over the years that might make it easier for you if you are trying to come up with a password. Number one, don't ever fill in a questionnaire on any social media that asks you to fill out questions like, what was your first dog's name? What's your favorite color? If you could choose any meal in the world, because you think that these are just fun little surveys. But when you post it up on Facebook, you're basically telling the whole world some clues as to what your password might be. Because many people, when it comes to passwords, they either name their password after a child or a combination of the children's names. They sometimes will name it after a pet. They'll sometimes use their birth year and their date. What do you think is the most common password in the entire world? Do any of you know? The answer is password. Millions of people thought they were smart by using the word password as their password. So those sorts of things become very predictable. And often when you are trying to create a password, you want to make sure that you have a good combination of things in your password. So let's have a look at what makes a good password. I'm going to share a document with you. Here we go. All right. So passwords are case sensitive. That means if it's a small letter or a big letter or a capital, it will make a difference. So let's say you want your password to be Sybil. Okay. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you can all see. All right. So you're going with Sybil. The problem with this is that it is the same as your name, and people will try that, and software programs will try that when they're trying to hack into your account. Number two, if you went like this, Sybil, they might try that as well. But most programs, when you put that password in, they'll tell you it's too weak. Create another one. What they would ideally like is a password that is at least more than 6 characters or letters long, preferably 8, with a combination of numbers, capitals, and characters. So let me give an example of what you could do. Sybil could go like this: capital S, Y, B, I, L, and then let's say she was born in 1960. Sybil, am I close? Yeah, 1960. And then, of course, and Sybil was just nodding, saying that is exactly the year she was born. So if you went Sybil 1960, notice I've got enough characters. I've also got capital letters. I've got numbers, and then you also want to add things like a $ or an exclamation, or an exclamation mark, or maybe a %, or maybe a star. Something like that will make it really difficult for a computer program to guess your password. But the minute you fill out a survey and you put there, my name is Sybil, what year were you born? 1960. Those programs gather up that information and they use that to try and crack your passwords. So it's very important that you have one that you can remember. One little trick that some people will do is they often will take a name like this. There is Estelle, and they go, instead of the capital E, they put a 3. So they use the 3 instead of a capital E, and instead of an S, they use a 5. Some people might even do something like this. Password, where the A is an @ the 2 S's are actually 5s, and the O is a 0. And that is definitely much harder to crack. So when you are thinking of a password, just make sure that you've got a password that is something that is difficult to crack, but will you be able to remember all of your passwords? This is always the hard part. So here's my little secret that I would like to share with you. If you don't have a Dropbox folder, get yourself Dropbox on your PC. We did discuss it last time. If you don't have Dropbox, get Google Drive. And here's what I would do. I would create a document like this in Word and say that my Zoom account, let's make it bigger so you can all see. My Zoom account, the username will be steve@cjsa.co.za. I'm just making up an email address. And my password will be this one. And the reason I do this in my Word document is because I can now save the Word document. But now you're going to say, oh, please. Then I leave my passwords as a Word document on my computer. My family can open it up and read all my passwords. So, and I know that this is quite ironic, but you can add a password to a Word document. You just have to remember that password and not forget it. So it could be an easy password because it's just there to slow people down from accessing your information. So what you do is you go to File and you go to Info. When you click on Info, you go to Protect Document. When you click on Protect Document, go to Encrypt with a password. And then you can go and type in a password, which I have done at CJSA, and it is all small letters. It's not going to tell me it's a safe password or not. It's just to safeguard that document. So now I have this document. Watch what happens when I close it. I've closed the document. I'm now going to open up. Let me share my screen. I'm going to open up my Word document. Let's just go like this. There it is. I'm trying to open it up, but look, it's asking for the password. So I put CJSA in, and it opens up my Word document. Now I can check my passwords. So why do I say Dropbox or Google Drive? Because you see, if you save your password in a document and you save that document in Dropbox, then I can access that document on my laptop, on my cell phone, and on my computer. And when you're like me and you've got 2 Zoom accounts, for example, one for working and then one when I need to sign into something and I don't want to use my work one, you need to make sure that you actually have your passwords for both. And I can't always remember my password for both. So what do? I quickly go into my Dropbox. I find my passwords document. And if I click on it, it's going to ask me for a password to open it up, which I know is ironic. And you usually choose something nice and easy to remember. And then once you are in that document, you can access all your different passwords. One of the things that I've also done is I've taken all my bank cards and I've taken a photo of each bank card, back and front, and I've put that into my passwords document. I've also put down the phone number that I need to phone in case I need to cancel a bank card should they be stolen or lost. I've put all the passwords for everything that I use in one document. Sadly, it's about 10 pages long. But at the end of the day, there are many things that I still don't use, but I've still got the password should it come up in a year or two's time. So for example, I have a program that, a website that I sign into to renew my domain name. So livingmaths.com, I own that domain name and I pay for 5 years in advance. Then I don't have to worry about it. But then 5 years later, I get a renewal notice. So I've got to sign into that website. I can't remember the password, but the good news is that if you have it in your document, you can always type it in and you'll be fine. But this comes with a caveat. And that is, if you don't remember the password for your password document, you are kaput. So you've got to at least remember the one password. So maybe choose something that you won't forget, like your birth date. Maybe choose something like a pet's name, because that is just for you to access on your computer. No one will be able to access that document unless they know who you are and more about you. I know it's, and unless you want to write down a password somewhere so that you can always access that document, but it's helped me. I cannot tell you how many times when you've got so many different accounts and you've logged in and you can't remember a password, you quickly access that Microsoft Word document, type in the password, it opens it up, and then you can access all your passwords. So hopefully that was useful. But here's a little thing that you need to know. If you use Microsoft Windows on your PC, you're probably using Microsoft Edge as a web browser or Microsoft Chrome. So what I'd like you to do is you are going to go into Chrome and you're going to open it up. So I'm going to open up Chrome over here. I've got Chrome open at the moment. And on the top right-hand corner of Chrome, you will see 3 dots. You click on that, and then you go all the way down to settings. And you'll notice it's got passwords. If I click on passwords, these are all the ones that have been saved by Google. Now you know why my document is 10 pages long. So they are here, saved in Google. So now, for example, let's find one that I don't mind sharing. My modem. If I log on to my modem, most of the time a modem comes with a standard password. It's username admin, password admin. I can now take a peek at that password. So if I go along to this thing here, this website, and I type in admin as the username and admin as the password, I can get in. So if someone was looking for your passwords, they could hack into your computer and go and find it over here. So if I was looking for one, let's say Facebook, you'll see I've got a few accounts that have been signed in under my name, and I can view all of those passwords. So that's just a little heads up that when you are actually working with Google Chrome and you can't remember a password, you can always find your password on your PC. Here's a little tip. If you go and you put a password on Windows, where every time you sign on to Windows, you have to type a word to open Windows on your PC, then when you go to Chrome and you click on that little I, it will not open until you type in that password. So you can protect those passwords by adding one level of security on your computer or your laptop, where you actually put, let's say, Microsoft, they ask you to sign in as an individual, or maybe it's the family computer. So you basically just put in a username and a password, and whenever you click on Windows, it asks you to type in the password. As soon as you type it in, Windows starts running. And that will also protect your passwords on Chrome by one extra level of security. So hopefully that is of use to you. There have been times where I've had people say to me, I can't remember my password for whatever. I go onto their PC and straight away go into Chrome, and it's saved there in Chrome, and I can tell them what their password is. Estelle, you had a question.
Yes, I want to ask you, I've got that Kaspersky security thing, and they keep asking me, do I want to save my password? Is it safe to save the passwords on there? Because that's my bank passwords.
Yeah, it's a tough call. Whenever they ask me, do I want to save passwords and stuff in Chrome, I generally do. But you can get a password program that allows you to obviously save all your passwords, and they protect it and encrypt it so no one can steal your passwords. But once again, it's also password protected. So if you can't remember that password, then what do? So this is the big problem with passwords in general, that if you're trying to remember passwords, some people have got a piece of paper, they write all their passwords down, they leave it in their desk, and if they need to access the password, they can do so. It really boils down to preference. Can you trust Kaspersky? They're a reputable company. They do pride themselves on integrity, but so does a government until they're hacked. So, what can I say? I mean, the choice is up to you. I always say that, listen, if they hack my bank account, they can't take any money away from me because I've got less than they do. So if anything, if they go and put R5 in, I'm scoring. So I'm quite happy for them to take the bank account. Maybe they can do something positive with it. It could actually help all of us in the end. But at the end of the day, yeah, it really does boil down to personal preference. You can make the call. All right, so that was passwords in a nutshell. We've looked at how you can save passwords in a safe way. We've also looked at how you can find people's passwords on their PC. You can also use a program that generates passwords if you've run out of ideas. These are just random passwords that they throw at you, but then you just got to copy and paste them and put them in a document. Otherwise, there's no ways you're ever going to be able to crack those yourself or remember them at any particular point in time. Okay, any more questions about passwords?
Thank you.
Okay.
It was very helpful.
Good. We're now going to talk about Facebook. Ed, I believe you were the one that asked about Facebook. You said, please, can we introduce you to Facebook, and what is this Facebook all about? I must be honest with you. In the beginning, when I first joined Facebook, it was really about connecting with family and friends and sharing updates. When you've got 10 family members all on your Facebook account, if you let them know that your daughter won the Eisteddfod, then they all know that your daughter won the Eisteddfod. And instead of me going to each and individual one, telling them that my daughter won the Eisteddfod, I can share all the news. And I thought, what a wonderful way to connect with family across the world. And a lot of people will use Facebook for that. I no longer put any personal information on Facebook. I mainly use it for business purposes, for connecting with people, for learning, professional development. So I use it for a slightly different reason to when I first started out, but everyone has their own context. I would say, I'm curious actually, how many of you have actually got Facebook? Ed, you don't have Facebook. You do?
I do have it, yeah.
Do you use it a lot?
I've got it on my phone. I don't have it on my computer.
Okay, so you must know that when you use it on your computer, you have far more functionality than you do than a phone. And I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So let's start off and we'll have a look at my Facebook account.
Well, maybe could you tell us how to get it onto the computer?
Yeah, that's very easy, very easy. All right,
Okay.
so the first thing you do, let me share my screen with you, is you go like this. You go to Facebook, download. Let's see what the link is. Oh, what am I talking about? You don't download Facebook on your computer. You just go to facebook.com. I'm having one of those Monday mornings. You go to facebook.com and then you basically sign in with the username and password that you use on your phone. There we go. So mine's already signed in. So you'll see it's got the Facebook setting over here. So you don't have to download any software. You just have to go into facebook.com and then just sign in with your username and password. Does that make sense?
Oh, I don't use a username and password on the Facebook I've got on my phone. It just opens up straight away. So I don't know.
So there is a username and password. You just don't remember what it is. So what you can do you have Google Chrome?
Yeah.
Do you use it on your phone?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And do you sign into your Google account when you are using it on your phone?
No.
No. Okay. You see, when you sign into Google Chrome, like I do, you can see it's got a little icon at the top here because I've signed in with my Google account, and I sign into Chrome on my mobile phone using a Chrome account. What happens then is that they synchronize between the two. Any passwords and things that are saved between the two are then put into one storage as opposed to individual devices. But what I can say, Ed, is that if you have, and I'll show you how you can get your password and your login from your device. We'll do that as well. Let me just show you what the desktop version looks like. You'll see it's got the home button. This brings you to your home page, and this is your feed. This is when people start posting things in your feed and you can see what your friends are doing and all the adverts they keep flashing at you. What does this say? The Stones are touring again. Nightclubs of the 80s and 90s. There are lots of fun jokes and things. And obviously, a lot of people are posting things that might be of interest. And it all depends on what groups you are in. That will determine what appears in your feed. Number two, you've got over here what you are watching. So videos and little fun clips that people share with you and things, you can just sit there and watch those video clips all day long. That can be a little bit of a rabbit hole because it can get you quite excited about those sorts of things. And then, of course, this one over here is fantastic, Marketplace. For those of you that do not know about Marketplace, oh, it's a lovely one. Let me show you what happens. I click on Marketplace and I am looking for, what am I looking for? Ed, are you looking for anything particular that you want to buy?
No.
Something random. I don't know. Maybe you need a
towels.
You want
Cat
towels?
Towels. Bath towels.
So I'm doing a search for towels. And over here, these are the hotel range of towels. Let me have a look at this one. I'm just going to open it up in a new link. Can you see the colors of the towels here?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, this one says assorted towels, prices rise per size. So they haven't, I mean, it says 70 Rand, but we don't know, anything. So what I can do is I can see, this is the name of the person selling it, Tariq. I can actually send a message to Tariq and say, hi, Tariq, I saw your advert for towels. What is the thread count? What are the dimensions of the towels? And hopefully they'll send me an email, a message back to me on Facebook to say, this one is going to be 80 Rand for a bath sheet. And this one, but maybe I didn't want to go to that one. Let's have a look at the others. Some of these are quite fancy. They've got towel sets. Let's see, first grade towels. There's a towel rack. You know what I'm looking for? Oh, now this is not really an ad. This is an advert. See, it says sponsored, so someone paid for that. Here's a clearance sale for curtains. I wasn't looking for curtains, but now all of a sudden I might be interested. Blankets, Tasneem's linen and towels. Let's have a look at Tasneem's. Oh, I've been to this place. They are very good. They have a pensioners discount every first Wednesday of the month. You get 10% off their prices. They supply towels to the guest lodges, bed and breakfasts, and hotels. And if you have a look, they've got the percale sheets. They've got all those lovely white towels, if you like that sort of thing. They've got these, and I've bought towels from them before, nice size bath sheets. You can decide how much you want to spend. And if you are like me and you've got an unusual sized bed with extra depth or extra length, they can make up the bed for you. So this is what happens when you go into Marketplace. You start to find incredible deals. So here's another example. I am looking for a TV. I want it to be 75 inches. And I want it to be 4K. So it's a high quality TV, very large. Here I can get, so this guy's selling a 2020 Samsung 65-inch 4K for 28,000 Rand. It's a lot of money. This person is selling a Hisense 4K TV for 12.5. Now, is it new or is it secondhand? Let's have a look. Used like new. These are what they call open box products. So the box is not there and they've opened it up, but they are still new, if you can call it that. Or maybe they've been brought back because it wasn't switching on and they fixed the problem and now they're selling it again. But you can actually find yourself some ridiculous deals. I did find myself a crazy deal. I got a very big, I mean, look at this one. This is an 85-inch TV for 40,000 Rand. And it happened to be a Samsung QLED, which is a very, very good quality make. And it's brand new. They normally sell for between 50 and 60,000 Rand. Here, you are going to get it for 39. And remember, this is not a shop. That's your starting price. Then you start your negotiations. You say to the person, listen, I'll offer you 35 if you are interested. And if they say yes, then you've just knocked them down another 4 grand just purely by being cheeky and offering a better price. So they'll show you where, they're not going to give the exact address, but they'll show you where about the person is selling it. They will give you their contact details, and you can then obviously message them on Facebook. And whatever you do, like Gumtree, when you are buying something on Gumtree, even on Facebook Messenger, on Marketplace like this, you've always got to make sure that when you do a purchase, that it is legit. You don't just transfer money into someone's account and then all of a sudden get there and there's no one that exists at that address. You've got to make sure that it is done in a legitimate way. So often cash is king. Sometimes you'll get there and the person will say, look, you can take it and just I trust you to do an EFT when you get home. So you get people like that. You know, I've had some very positive experiences. I've never had a negative experience on Marketplace. But always remember that you must check the advert clearly. Here, this person is selling a 100-inch TV. Is that even possible? Okay, so it says 100-inch smart laser TV. So, okay, so I don't think I've ever seen a TV that is 100. Oh, so basically it's like a projector and projects onto the wall. I was going to say 100-inch TV is basically like a wall. It's like a movie theater. It's massive. So there you've got this little projector projecting onto the screen. I'm not so sure I would rush out to get one of those, but you know, each person chooses their own sort of entertainment. And that was going for 55,000 rand. It's a lot of money for a TV. But what I can tell you is if you use a thing like Marketplace, before you go and buy something at the shop, it gives you a very good understanding of whether you're getting a good price or not to establish a baseline. So if I was going to go buy a NutriBullet, how much can I expect to pay for a NutriBullet? Well, let's have a look at what some of these are like. Here is the NutriBullet RX. The 900 watt is going for 2,200 rand. I'm having a look over here. This is the 600 watt. That's going for 1,800. Not all of these are the NutriBullet make. Some are different brands. So maybe I'll consider a different brand as well. There's a Russell Hobbs. But you start to also learn about other things that you weren't even thinking of. But what it does do is it gives you, here's a Hamilton Beach Blender, a Kenwood juicer. You start to come across things that you didn't think of. And I will tell you this, that during these times, unfortunately, a lot of people are selling because they actually can't afford to keep the things that they're not using. So this one over here, it's noisy but works, and it's missing a small cup. So that's probably why they're selling it for 600 bucks, and it's the 600 watt one. So it's not the world's most powerful, but it certainly does the trick. And if I go along here to the one this is brand new, and it comes with all the little accoutrements. I've actually got this one. They are fantastic. And it says we recommend you replace the extractor blade every 6 months, which I would agree with, and you can buy those on Take-A-Lot. So I would say that Marketplace is a fabulous tool. But now let's get back to our Facebook over here. One of the other little features on Facebook is birthdays. So over here, you will see that these are the birthdays of people coming up today. So you can have a look at all those people that are celebrating a birthday, and you can then go and post a message to each one. This person, Esther, for example, doesn't want me to post a message on her Facebook page, but rather send her a private message. So I can click there and send her a private message. And once that's done, let's see what else I need to notice. I've also got groups and pages. Now, what are the differences between the two? The CJSA, if I do a search CJSA, you guys have got over here, this looks like it could be a page. I think you've established a page, and it tells you information about CJSA. And when they make an announcement, then you can see it. But it does say over here that I can create a post. I can actually share something on CJSA webpage, on Facebook page, but I suspect that they've also ticked off that the admin need to approve it. Otherwise, I can start posting the most inappropriate things on this page, and if admin is not approving it, then I can get away with it. So it's very important that we test now to see how robust the CJSA page is. Please join us on Monday mornings for the at 9:30 a.m. for the techno savvy sessions. And I'm going to go post. Let's see what happens now. It's posting. It says you wrote on. Okay, so CJSA, you need to speak to your admin people of that page, because if I wanted to, I could post anything I want that's inappropriate on your page, and there's nothing you can do to stop me other than just delete it afterwards. So what I will do is I'll go like this and just delete my post. But just know that if I now refresh that page, let's see if it'll work, that comment is not there anymore. So what you would need to do is you would need to go into the admin side of the page and just say that admin needs to approve your posts. Otherwise, you're going to have someone who spams your page with adverts and things for stimulants and enlargement creams and all those wonderful things that you certainly do not want on your seniors page. What I will say is that I've got a page, for example, and it looks something like this. Let's go to the normal Facebook home. All right, so if I go to Living Maths, there we go. Living Maths has a page, and I normally share things of an educational value so that people can actually see what it's all about. Yesterday, I was involved with a world record. I was a panelist for this event, and people could watch the YouTube video clip. This is my Flexing Fridays stuff that I run every Friday. And of course, these guys are offering grade 10 to 12 tutorials. So if that is of interest to you, then you would go along and have a look. I'm actually running a workshop on the 25th. I'm glad I reminded myself of this. I must just make sure I've got that on my calendar. And then these are pages, and a page is slightly different. It's more like a business or an organization, and you are promoting things and events and stuff that happen. Then you get a thing called a group. So let me show you a group. I'm going to choose a group over here. I'm in this group over here called Space Hipsters. The group is a public group, which means all can see what is in that group. The admin can change that to a private group. So Ed, let's say, for example, you've got Ed Katz's writing tutorials. You could create a group and only invite people and keep it private so that no one else can see the page, only the people inside that group. So you can have private groups and you can have public groups, if that makes sense.
So how do you do it?
Oh, all right. So if you want to create a new group, let's go like this. All right. Here's groups. I click on groups.
Where did you do that?
On the top of this page, there, groups. So this will show me all my groups that I've joined over here. You can see I'm a member of many groups. And because I'm a member of many of these groups, this will reveal what appears on my Facebook feed, because it's taking things from those things and putting them on my Facebook feed. But then I go like this to where it says create new group. On the left-hand side, you can see it says create new group.
Where? Oh, there.
I click create new group. What do I want to call it? Do I want it to be public or private? So I choose what I want. I then invite specific friends to this group. So you could have, let's say, a private jokes group with just you and your friends. And you guys could share things that only you can see, no one else can see. Let's say, for example, CJSA has got a Yiddish group. And only members who are part of that Yiddish group can see the content. It's not a public thing that everyone else can see. But you can decide, let's make it public so that everyone can see what's on the page, but they can't post. Only members of the group can post. You can decide who has those sorts of powers. So that's how you create a group in like literally 2 or 3 seconds, which I think is quite useful. And I see that you guys have shared the link, so you can like the seniors page. It is now in the chat. So if you want to click on that, you can open that up on your PC and then just click on like, and then you'll know what's happening in the Facebook world with regards to the seniors. So we've now seen groups, you've seen a page, you've seen a marketplace, which is quite useful. They've also added a little bit of gaming, but here's a little feature that I think you might like, and that is the little search feature. So let's say I'm on my main page, and you know, there was a world record that took place recently. Let me do a search for world record. I'm just doing a quick little search for world record. There's the Guinness Book of World Records page. I can like it if I want to. And if I like it, then it just means that I'll get things on my Facebook feed with regards to new records that are broken, whatever. I made a mention of a world record. Let's have a look at this. Ah, there I am as part of the panel for the world record. We had a couple of teachers, one from Norway, one from Greece, one from Australia, one from India, and one from South Africa. So I found the post that I was looking for. But if I go back, here's another reference. So I can actually search for posts that were made, or people, or photos, or videos related to world records. So, you know, sometimes someone makes a post. They made a post about, let's say, a workshop. I know it's very general because there could be lots of workshops. And I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm looking, actually I am. I'm looking for a person that runs workshops. Let's have a look. Ooh, an inventor's workshop. I like that. Let me have a look. So this person, ElaineandWallace.com, they run the inventors workshop and they show all these cool things. That seems very interesting. So you can actually find things with the search feature in Facebook. So I find that to be quite a powerful tool. Not everyone actually uses that. One of the other things that I think is quite useful is friend requests and notifications. Often, if you look at the little bell over here, you will see that you're getting friend requests.
Where?
Over here, there's a little bell in the top right-hand corner of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
You will see it on your cell phone. There is a little bell. And basically, these are when people comment on a photo that you've posted or something that you've posted, you will see that they've made comments. And I'll go into one and have a look at one in a second. Let's have a look. Now, Ellen DeGeneres, it says that they've added a new one. I don't know if that's the real Ellen DeGeneres. Some people, they go and create a fake page because they want to get traffic going through their Facebook page so they can generate advertising income. So you've got to be a bit wary about who's who in the zoo. And I'll show you now when we get a friend request. Let's see if I've got a friend request. Ah, Serena Jim has sent me a friend request. Before I confirm it, let me click on this to have a look. Who is Serena Jim? They studied in Ontario. They've only got 1 or 2 photos of themselves. I've got no friends in common with them. They've only got 2 photos. They don't have any friends to show. And if I look at their posts, that's all that appears on their page. I don't even know if these 2 are the same people. So what some people do is they grab pictures off the internet and create a fake profile, and they want you to become their friend. Once you add them on as a friend, they simply go and look at your profile. Oh, look, you've got a new puppy called Dagwood. That's a good attempt for a password. We're going to use Dagwood, Dagwoody, Daggywood. They'll try a whole bunch of things to try and hack your account. So that is why they befriend you, because there's a sinister side to it. So I don't want to be friends with this person. I don't know who Serena Jim is. It doesn't even sound like a Canadian name. So I'm just going to go like this, delete request. So this person asked to be my friend, but I don't have to be their friend. I've just said no. If I carry on looking, anything else that is new, you can see there's a lot of activity on my page. Scott Bradley. Scott Bradley started a wonderful thing called, what did he call it now? I've got to find the name of it. Postmodern Jukebox. And if you haven't heard Postmodern Jukebox, what he does is he takes well-known songs and he remixes them with old-styled music. So let me see if I can go like this. Stop share, and then share again. This time I'm going to share with sound. And if I go like this to Postmodern Jukebox, Postmodern Juke, there we go. And I find a video. Let's see. Okay, so this is a video that they did. Basically, it is the song by Toto called Africa. You might know the song, but they've done it to a 50s style cover. So let's hear what it sounds like when you take a song like Toto and you give it a decent melody.
Oh, bro,
What is this?
bro,
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
This beat's still.
No, this is not it. No, this is not it. That was obviously not what I was looking for. Let's try that again. Let's choose this one. So this is a song called Creep. It's a very well-known song, but they've given it their own vision.
When you were here before, you couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo.
So now they've taken a very modern song that all the young people know, and they've given it a genre that the not so young people will know. And when you hear the song, you're like, oh, I love this song. Now, this is what I call music. And then your grandchild says, I know that song. Wait, there's something familiar with that. I know the words. What's going on? And then they realize that these people have taken a new song and they've given it a brand new twist to it. And they've actually made it sound half pleasant. So if you like that sort of thing, go and look up Postmodern Jukebox. Scott Bradley and his team, they have got the most incredible stuff. and I've done this as a quiz for seniors, where I play a well-known song and they hear it and they've got to work out what the actual song is. And what is fascinating is that the kids, they know these songs in their original form, but they do not know the song in this form. And if the tune is the same, it's just presented in a slightly different way. So if you ever went and took one more, let's try one that you should know, one that is quite new. Let's go with let's see, there must be a nice one here that you would know. Okay, this is a Britney Spears song. Oops, I did it again. You might remember the song, but let's hear how they've done it.
I think I did it again. I made you believe we're more than just friends. Oh, baby, it might seem like a crush, but it doesn't mean that I'm serious. 'Cause to lose all my senses, that is just so typically me. Oh, baby, baby, oops, I did it again.
Now, Britney Spears never sounded this good, but this is what happens when you take a musical maestro and you start giving a nice twist to musical pieces. So definitely, if you enjoy that sort of thing, then you would go to follow Postmodern Jukebox on their Facebook page. And then all of a sudden, when new songs are released, you get to know about it first. Are there any specific questions that you have about Facebook that you'd like to know? Yes, Sandra. How are you, Sandra?
It's so good to hear you. Lovely to see everybody in sunny South Africa.
Are you
so
in
it's
Oz at the moment?
nighttime where I am.
Now, you're in
and I'm
Oz at the
very
moment,
excited
aren't you?
that Sybil, yeah, that Sybil put me on. So a couple of things, please.
Yes.
One is I don't know how to ask somebody to be my friend, and I am getting thank yous from people for asking to be their friend, which they accept, which I never sent. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, how do you get feeds from people? For example, I want to list my children as Chop to see what's on their page. I don't know how to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of some of the
Okay,
things. I've got
so
a
let's
whole lot
have
of
a look.
questions. But just that.
Let's see if we can help you out with that. All right. So number one, we're in Facebook. Let's see if it eventually switches over. It's misbehaving. Let's go over here to Facebook. Let's go to home. There we go. So the first question is, how do you add people on as a friend? So I'm looking for Sandy Hots in Australia. So I'm going to go, Sandra.
Okay, let me tell you, unfortunately, I don't like to be called Sandra, but my Sandy Hots was blocked, or I couldn't get my password. So I'm now under Sandra Hots.
That's fine. I'm looking under Sandra Hots. Let's see what comes up. I see a whole bunch of Sandy Hotses and Sandra Hotses. So, and let me, if I click on see all, you'll see that it's not such a unique name, which makes it a bit tricky.
Go up to the top. Go up the top. I've got a picture of Leonard and I.
No, I know that's you, but I'm having a look at all the other Sandra Hotses. There's some very nice ones that I should add as my friends, if you know what I mean. So this is what happens. People go along, they're searching for Sandra Hots. They find a whole bunch of other Sandra Hots and they think, oh, I better add this one. I better add this one. Maybe they can be my friends. And that's why you sometimes get these strange friend requests. But if we go to the top here, I can see that image over there. And not only that, it says we've got 48 mutual friends. So there's a high probability that we are actually looking at the correct Sandra. So what I would do is on the right-hand side, you'll see a little add friend. I click on that, and now you've just received a friend request from me, and that will probably pop up in your notifications.
Yes, it has just done so.
There we go. So that is
Okay.
how easy it is to add someone as a friend.
Okay.
And what will happen is, because I've added you as a friend, it means that every now and again, when I'm on my Facebook feed, I'm going to get recommendations to add people on as friends. If I keep scrolling down, eventually it'll say, look here, people you may know. And I'm looking at some of these people thinking, do I know all of them? But some of them might be a friend of yours, and it is recommending them because we are now friends. So what happens is, you're looking for an old friend that you used to spend time with back in the day when you're in primary school, and you add them on. They have 3 or 4 friends that you were also connected to, and it starts now making recommendations of friends that you actually didn't even know to add on, but are now recommending that you add them on. I don't know who a lot of these people are, but I can see this one over here. We've got 296 mutual friends. That's a lot of people that we've got in common. I can keep going through. And you'll see that there are so many recommendations that pop up every now and again, and that will depend on who you've added on as a friend. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. The other thing is, when you are viewing certain people's Facebook profiles, the algorithm will naturally put you to see what is actually going on. So for example, if I keep looking, if you go look at David's page all the time, what will happen is his feed will generally appear on your screen more often, because the algorithm says that the more you visit a person's page, the more interested you are in their content. But what I would do to make certain is, if I wanted to make a post, I would go like this. Let's say I'm going to add a photo from my PC. Let's choose one. Let's choose a screenshot over here. I've got now a picture that I've added. What I could do is I could go and click on here, tag.
Okay.
And if I tag, for example, my friend Rania, let's see if she pops up. There she does. Done. Then her name is now tagged with this photo. So as soon as I post it, what happens is that all of a sudden, Rania gets a notification on her page to say, you've been tagged in a photo. What I can also do is, if I click on the photo, sometimes you can actually add, well, we've done that already, but let's go to edit. Now look at the photo. I'm going to tag this photo. I'm going to click over here and put Bob Smith. And choose that Bob Smith over there. I'm going to click over there and put Sandra Hotz. Oops. Hotz, like that. So I can now start tagging people in the photo. And when I'm done, I click on save. And what will happen is, when you move your cursor over those photos, then the person's name will pop up. So often, if you're taking a photograph of, let's say, young children who don't have a Facebook account, you might tag the parent's name in that actual photo. And that helps people to know that if they've been tagged, you get a notification over here in the top right-hand corner that someone has tagged you in a photo. So I'm not going to actually post that, but if I go down here to my thing, let's have a look. Did anyone tag me in a photo? Someone over here likes a video that you are tagged in. What was I tagged in? Let's see what I was tagged in. Okay, so my friend Putti, who is what we call the Digi Gogo, She's a previous principal, and she is very well connected with technology, and she's outstanding with technology. She made a little video clip over here, and she tagged me. So you'll see we've got Peter Tabishi, the guy who won the best teacher in the world competition. You've got Maggie. She also won it one year. You've got a few of the South African teachers, but she also tagged me. And in doing so, if I look over here, look at all the teachers she's tagged. So there, if you go like this, you'll see Steve Sherman is in the middle. She tagged me, and what that does is it allows a lot of people to share that with all of their friends, because her aim is to promote the Global Teacher Prize Ambassador Program, and she wants me to share that with all of my friends. And if she tags 51 teachers and they all share it with their 200 or 300 friends, then it becomes a lot of people seeing this particular thing. So
Right.
does that make sense?
Yes. Now I want to ask you, I was in a beautiful place today in Centennial Park. It was gorgeous. And my friend took a picture of me in the sunshine, and I put it on Facebook, but I didn't know how to say I was in Centennial Park and what a lovely day it was.
No problem.
Just a photograph with it.
So we're going to go along like this. I'm going to visit a place. Let's go like this, add a photo. I'm going to add, let's pick a place. Just pick a random photo. This one over here.
This is on a cell phone, Steve.
Okay, I'll do it from my cell phone. Let's do it like that. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me go share. And go to share screen. Right, so now I'm on my cell phone.
Yes.
I go along to Facebook. Where is my Facebook page? There we go. You'll notice on the top, I have people. I have my groups, and I have my notifications. And obviously, let's just see if I've got the latest notifications or whatever it is. I'm going to go back to my homepage. What's on my mind? I'm going to post a photo. Let's pick a photo over here. This is my daughter. Let's go next. All right, so here's my daughter. And I want to now say where I am. So I'm going to say, now notice there are some pictures underneath her face. This over here is picture. Tag a person. I'm going to tag a person, the blue one with a little tag, and I'll put my wife's name. Let's go like that. Let's see if it pops up. There we go. I've tagged her. Excellent. So now my wife has been tagged in that picture, and you can see on top, it says Michelle. And then you'll notice this orange thing over here. That is a geotag. I click on it. Where would I like to say I was? In Melbourne Park. There we go. Melbourne Park, this one over there. I've now selected it. And what it does is it says Steve Sherman with Michelle Sherman at Melbourne Park. So I use the tag, that orangey color thing, to add the location of where I am. And I use this tag over here to tag the person that I was with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just didn't see any space for that, but I don't want to dominate the conversation. I don't know if this is useful to other people or not.
Well, some people would like to know how to tag themselves or tag someone else in a photo. and they would also like to know how to add a location. You know, sometimes it's good to add a location. I'm here at this particular event, place, getting my vaccination. By all means, that's a good one. But, you know, I'm here at this stadium attending a very large soccer match. Maybe you don't want to publicize that because then people are going to say, isn't that a bit of a COVID risk? So you can decide when you want to tag a person or a location. And then you'll see there's a little emoji between the two. That little orangey face there, or green face. I'm colorblind. So if I put happy, I'm just going to click on happy. It's now added a happy emoji. So you can do that sort of thing. And then you can say, had fun in Melbourne. That didn't work.
Okay, doesn't matter. We know what you're saying.
Yeah. And then I would post that. And then people would think that I was feeling happy with my wife and obviously in Melbourne. And people would then start emailing me going, what on earth are you doing in Melbourne? How did you get to Melbourne? So I think you get the idea there.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Oh, Ed, your question was, let's go back here. Ed, if you go along to the 3 lines that you have, the settings lines on your page, I can go along and look at all these things over here. I can go to the bottom where it says settings and privacy. And if I click on settings, the top one, I can actually work out personal account. It'll tell me which email address, contact numbers and email addresses that it's using. And then I will try and work out what the password is. But you wouldn't be able to have an account with Facebook if you didn't have an email and a password. And if you've forgotten your password, you can go to passwords and security and it'll tell you where you've logged in. It'll tell you you can change your password, or if you've forgotten your password, you should be able to recover that as well. Does that make a bit more sense?
It does, but there's a lot of information to take in, you know, at one shot. Maybe I'll have to look at this again.
Correct. Well, that's why we do the recording. So you can always watch the recording. But what I would do is I would attempt to log into Facebook on your PC, type in your email address, and then where it says enter password, click on forgot password. And hopefully it can send some sort of reminder to you that will allow you to remember your password. Unless you know your password, you can guess it.
I don't know, no.
You don't know. Well, we can always chat another time and see if we can hack your account and get your password for you. And then we'll have to change your password, of course, because we don't want people to obviously make use of that. All right. Any other questions today? Are there any other things you'd like to learn about for next week?
Actually, this thing about the Facebook, I mean, I'm actually wanting to set up this notion of setting up a writing class is on my mind. And in fact, this marketplace, can I put it there? And
yeah, what I would say is your group for like a writing group, you could advertise a service on marketplace, yes. And of course, it's free to advertise. But what you would normally do is say something about the writing group and then ask your friends to share the link with their friends. And that's how you get people to generate interest, people sharing with people. And then you go on to other writing groups. You join and say, oh, I'm running one of my own as well, if you're interested. And then people will join and you join theirs. And it's kind of like give and take. And that's how you build a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you what, we'll spend some time on that next week, looking at if you were going to start a business or a group or something on Facebook, how do you build a community from there? We can also look at Instagram and we can look at Twitter as well. because people are using those platforms to build their page. So for example, if I've got a Living Maths page, I will sign on to all the other maths pages and post, we are running an event. Click here to find out more. So they'll join the Living Maths page to find out more. And what I'm doing is I'm building the community on that page. So I can use that from a marketing point of view to say, oh, by the way, I'm also running a fun maths quiz, which is only R5 a person. Or I might say, I am running an event which you could sign up and get a certificate for only R200. So, you know, I can, once I've got the community, I can market things to them. But you've got to have a community first before you market them.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. We'll spend some time on that next week. It's a good idea. All right. Anything
Can
else?
I just ask a question,
Of
Steve?
course.
When we go back to marketplace, some items were marked R0. Does that mean it's negotiable? What does that mean?
No, I think some people, when they just, because they're also new to marketplace, they just don't know how to put a price there. I will tell you, if you put R0, it's going to entice a lot of people to look at your advert. So that's also one of the reasons they do it. But whatever you do, you always read the advert to see what they are saying. Is it new? Is it secondhand? Are they asking you to offer them a price? Are they saying, no, the actual price is whatever? They don't always fill in the amount in the, when you are creating an object to be sold, you might not actually fill in that space on the amount. And that's why it just automatically defaults to 0.
Oh, thank you.
But always be willing to negotiate, because you can get some really, really good deals on Marketplace. I cannot tell you how many good deals I've had on Marketplace. It's been fantastic.
How would you check out to see if somebody's genuine or not? I mean, if they say, yeah.
So if you're going to go onto Gumtree, how do you know that someone's legit? So Facebook, they've at least got a profile. So I can check out their profile and see if there's anything that looks suspicious. Number 2, I know roughly what area they're in. So I will meet at the local garage or police station and bring cash with me. And then if they've got the object and I've seen it and I'm happy with it, I'll do the exchange. If not, I won't. But sometimes you get a good feeling about the person because you are communicating via WhatsApp or Messenger, and you get a sense that they are being legit. That's your gut feel. But I would always say that if you're going to be spending more than a few R100, you always make sure that you are going with someone, or that wherever you meet is in a public place and that it is legit.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions for Steve? No more questions. Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for the informative morning and for the information.
You're welcome.
And thank you everyone for joining, Steve. I'm sure you found that very valuable and you're taking away a lot from this morning's presentation. If you do have any more questions for Steve, you can send them to me or to Amanda at admin, at an admin account, admin@cjsa.org.za. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week, Monday.
Looking forward to it. Or next evening for you, Sandy. Okay.
Bless you and thank you very much, and love to Cape Town and everybody there. Stay safe.
Thanks for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Sandra.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Okay, thanks.